Was sponsored by sure you Division One Dorset ULAMs. This will be a second and final call for Class 2 Division One Commercial ULAMs. First and second call for Class 2 Division One Commercial ULAMs.
Well done. For the sponsor. Okay.
In our Dorset Advantage class, just one entry. I think a real nice one to evaluate and talk about. As I see this one from the side view, I see one that I think is really symmetrical and right in her lines. I particularly like her balance in her underline. She's got great rack shape, good on her feet and legs, and one that is just smooth. I think really a pretty nice one to start with today. Appreciate her femininity about her front end, and I think a real good representative for a Dorset Advantage female. Congratulations.
Our champion Dorset ULAM was shown by Cortland Mosman. He will receive a $50 premium courtesy of our show sponsors. Now entering the arena will be our Class 2 Division One Commercial ULAMs. At the conclusion of this class, we will be choosing our champion and reserve champion ULAMs of today's show.
Next one will be
So for these commercial females, we actually kind of have, I was told to have 2 classes in the ring, and we'll kind of talk them that way. The bigger one, you're kind of wondering, boy, that's a big ewe lamb. Well, that's a yearling ewe. We'll evaluate her as such. So she'll be a purple, and will be our first place yearling. I think one that I see is real feminine. I like the front end about this one. She's really smooth in her shoulder. She's right in her lines, and I like that about her. For me, at this stage of the game, this is one that I'd like to see a little bit bolder in her rib, maybe a little bit wider in her total base width for me. She's stout enough, but there's a whole bunch of them stouter. But I think in terms of one that's balanced, structurally correct, she checks those boxes. Just like to see more of her. Moving into our ewe lambs, we're going to use the natural Suffolk influenced ewe lamb will be our first place. This is one that there's some things you kind of like about her. She's big in her center body. She's a long body female, and I like that about her. I think a couple things we can improve on this one. She's a little bit bold and long in her shoulder. She's long in her blade, and she's a little bit just not real attractive through that front third. I'd really like to change that about her. I think as you go farther back, you see a little bit of break in that hip-loin junction. I'd like to change that about her. Put one that's level-topped and big center body. Moving into the second place ewe lamb, and this one will be a blue. There's just not enough of this one to run with the Suffolk influenced lamb above her. You kind of see this one, she rolls a little bit on her dock set. We'd like to bring her up that way. We'd like to make this one overall stouter, not only in terms of center body, but also muscle dimension through that center portion of her leg. Just one that's a little bit flatter, and will probably be one that'll be more throwing that in her female, or I should say in her offspring. On the positive side, one that's correct on the move. I like the way this one walks, and she's good on her feet and legs. We appreciate that. She'll be a blue. Congratulations.
In the first class, receiving top purple was Olivia Burish, receiving a blue was Avery Boss. In the other class, the commercial yearling ewe, receiving the top purple was Portland Mosman. Currently, the judge will be choosing our champion and reserve champion commercial ewe lamb of today's show.
So even though it's showing it over here.
As I look at the two in contention for champion commercial female, there's certainly some differences. I'm going to go ahead and use the yearling for champion and the ewe lamb for reserve. To me, the difference is the balance. I don't think either one of them are particularly stout sheep. I find the yearling to be better in her front end, and I think when you get behind them, the yearling is more blown apart in her pin set. The ewe lamb for me gets a little bit narrow from hooks to pins, but two good females, a good representative of commercial ewe lambs. Congratulations.
Our champion commercial ewe lamb and receiving a $50 premium was Cortland Mosman. Reserve champion commercial ewe lamb honors went to Olivia Burish, and she will be receiving a $25 premium. Now we will be choosing our champion and reserve champion ewe lamb of today's show. For that, we need Cortland Mosman with his champion Dorset ewe lamb, Cortland Mosman with his champion commercial ewe lamb, and Olivia Burish with the reserve champion commercial ewe lamb. This will be a first call for Market Lambs Class 3 Division 1. First call, Market Lambs Class 3 Division 1. Also, we'd like to point out on the back of our program of our sponsors who donate money so that we can also provide additional premiums for our 4-H'ers throughout the year. The Dodge County 4-H Council would like to thank these contributors for their monetary donations. Second and final call, Class 3 Market Lambs, Division 1. Second and final call, Class 3, Division 1 Market Lambs.
In the ring now are contenders for overall champion and reserve champion U. The Dorset Advantage female just won in the class. I think we talked about her in class. I think just a really nice one in terms of a package of balance and muscle throughout. One that I like quite a lot. And then the Yearling U for the crosses. I think for me it's kind of between those two. I'm going to go with the ewe lamb here today. I like this one in terms of having an advantage of muscle shape over the yearling, and I think one that has a higher ceiling for her breed as well. The yearling ewe is nice, but there's a whole bunch of them that are a lot stouter than this one. But I think this Dorset Advantage female, for one in her breed and her age, would stand a little more competition. Champion in reserve, congratulations, guys, and we'll start the Market Lamb show.
Our champion ewe lamb was shown by Cortland Mosman. He will be receiving a $200 premium for receiving the championship honors. Receiving reserve champion honors and $100 in premium money is also Cortland Mosman. We will now be starting our Market Lamb show. In this first division, we have Market Lambs, and these Market Lambs weigh 85 to 110 pounds. This will be a first call for Class 4 Division 1 Market Lambs. First call, Class 4 Division 1 Market Lambs. This is a second and final call, Class 4 Division 1 Market Lambs. Currently in the arena is Class 3 Division Market Lambs that weigh 85 to 110 pounds. once again, we'd like to direct your attention to the front of the program at the top. The extra premium money that the champions are being awarded this year is being sponsored by Frontier Co-op, Land O'Lakes, and the CPM Group. If you see any of these businesses on the fairgrounds, or you happen to stop into their businesses, please thank them for providing this added premium money for our exhibitors today. Also, we would like to thank the Dodge County 4-H Council and their donors for sponsoring premium money as well. Also, anyone that participated in showmanship this morning, all those competitors will receive a $10 premium added on to their premium check when they get it from the fair board. So if you participated in showmanship this morning, when you receive your check, you will have an added $10 on there for participating in the showmanship contest. Once again, we would like to also not only thank our sponsors, but thank our fair board for going out and soliciting these funds. We'd also like to thank this year's show arena sponsors, Fullstone Farms, Thomas Cattle Company, which is Tom and John Weisenkamp, the Dodge County Farm Bureau, Bozeman Crop Insurance, Darling Ingredients, and Turnus Trucking LLC of Nickerson.
For our first class of market lambs, the lightweights, kind of a theme in this class is sheep that need a little more time. I didn't find one here that I would say was properly finished or 12 o'clock. I think there's some differences, and I think the two on top sort themselves out pretty easily. Just line them up. I opted to start with the natural colored ewe lamb, and for me the separation in the top there is two things. I see the ewe lamb as being wider in her pin set and more dimension through the center part of her leg. In addition to that, I think she's a little bit stouter behind the shoulders in that weather. I think there's more rack shape and a more true top line. The weather is one I like. I mean, he's lean, maybe too lean. To me, he just, and you're seeing it now, he just gets a little bit out of whack, out of shape with that top line. And the roaching up or the arching, some of that is just behavior. But I think as you get your hands on it, you see a little bit, just not as much of a pronounced rack shape. And certainly not the pin width that we see in the one we start with. However, I think the second place weather is easily second over third place. I think we got a big separation. We'll have two purples, two blues. Here's one that really isn't stout enough to run with the other two and really doesn't balance up as well either. One that's a little bit longer in her shoulder blade and maybe not as true in his top line for me. The weather rounding out the class, one that's a little bit unusual to be what I'd say not totally muscled up yet or correctly finished, but yet is a little bit soft to the touch. So this one has a couple problems for me, is not a lot of muscle expression and really not a lot of touch either. So this one naturally sorts to the bottom. Two purples, two blues, nice class, congratulations.
Our top purple went to Cortland Mosman. Second purple in this class went to Olivia Burrish. Receiving blue ribbons were Olivia Burrish and Avery Boss. Now entering the Reno will be our Class 4 Division 1 market lambs. These market lambs weigh 111 to 125 pounds. At the conclusion of Class 4, we will be choosing our champion and reserve champion Division 1 market lambs. This will be a first call, Class 5, Division 2. First call, Class 5, Division 2.
And our second class of lightweights, to me a real straightforward class and a real easy winner. Pretty nice weather to start with. One that's real attractive from the side view, and I appreciate that about him. One that just like the first class could stand a little bit more time, lean enough, maybe not totally filled out over the loin edges, and that'll come with a little more weight. Really like the dock set on this one that's really true and straight in its dock. I think if you're going to change him, just like a lot of them, if you could make him just a nickel stouter, and I think that'll come with a few more pounds, but very attractive, real sound. One that's not too fat, I think just comes to the top real easily. The Suffolk Influence Lamb is going to be a blue, and this weather to me has a few things I'd like to change. We can kind of start our way on the front and work our way back. One that's a little bit longer in his shoulder blade, and that causes him to not balance up quite as well as we like. Maybe look a little bit deeper in that breastplate and chest floor. We'd like to bring that up. One that's not as true and crisp over his loin edges as the weather ahead of him, and I think just naturally falls second. Again, a purple and a blue in this class, a real nice one to start with. Congratulations.
Top purple went to Addison Burish. A blue ribbon also went to Addison Burish. This will be a second and final call for Class 5 Division 2. Currently entering the arena will be our Division 1 market lambs so that we can choose our champion and reserve champion Division 1. We will need from Class 3, Cortland Mosman and Olivia Burish to return with their lambs, and Addison Burish from Class 4 to return to the arena with her lamb. This is a last chance to get a breakfast sandwich from the Trinity Lutheran stand. It's down where the Cattleman's Barbecue usually takes place on Sunday. They are going to close at 10:30. So if you are in need of a breakfast sandwich, run down and let Trinity Lutheran feed you breakfast. Also, all 4-H and FFA exhibits are being released on Sunday, August 6th at 6:30 p.m. 2023 Nebraska State Fair 4-H animal entry and fee dues are due August 10th at 8 p.m. Entry is the responsibility of the exhibitor. The extension staff will assist with the process if you have any questions. If you do have questions, stop in their office or call 402-727-2775. Currently in the arena, we are choosing our champion and reserve champion Division 1 market lamb. We would like to thank Aaron Hemme of the Loganview FFA chapter for being our superintendent today. We'd like to thank his FFA chapter for coming to help here in the arena. We would also like to thank our Dodge County 4-H ambassadors, which are Ashley Abrahams, daughter of Kelly and Robert Abrahams, Evan Hartman, son of Amy and Jeff Hartman, Hayden Gregory, son of Joshua and Nikki Gregory, and Paige Bunn, daughter of Hope and Michael Bunn. We'd also like to point out that Paige is not only working as a 4-H ambassador today, but she is also one of our 2023-2024 Nebraska State FFA officers. So it's nice to have Paige here with us today. Our exhibitor t-shirts this year are sponsored by First Northeast Bank of Nebraska. So if you stop into the bank or you see Houston Mosman around the fairgrounds, make sure you thank them for sponsoring our t-shirts this year. If you are a 4-H or FFA member or a veteran, you are able to get into tonight's tractor pull for free. Veterans just need to show their military ID card. So once again, if you're a 4-H or FFA member or a veteran of the armed forces, you are welcome to get into the tractor pull free of charge this evening.
We've got 3 here in contention for our Division I Market Lamb champion in reserve. And for me, it comes to the 2 classifications. So there's certainly some differences to talk about. The heavier weight, the hemp influenced weather, really like the lines on this sheep. I think he has some advantages in terms of a more market ready weight, and I like that about him. I think if I could change this one as I kind of come back and looked at him again, I'd maybe like to see this one better in his forerib. He pinches just a little bit. Some of that will come with a little more cover, being a little critical, but that's probably an advantage that the little ewe lamb has. With her, I think her disadvantage is just her age and weight, and she'll get over that. But one that's a little bit maybe finer boned as compared to the weather. Like the forerib on this one better, and I think one, if you're really handling maybe a little bit of a deeper loin in this one, as I kind of evaluate what they'll cut in terms of loin eye area, I think they're quite similar. For me, having said all that, we're going to go ahead and make the weather the champion in the division and the ewe lamb reserve. Congratulations.
Our champion Division I Market Lamb was shown by Addison Burrish. She will be receiving a $50 premium. A reserve champion Division I Market Lamb was shown by Cortland Mosman, and he will be receiving a $25 premium. Now entering the arena will be Class 5 Division II Market Lambs. These market lambs weigh 126 to 140 pounds. This will be a first call for Class 6 Division II Market Lambs. First call, Class 6 Division II Market Lambs. Our sheep and goat show today is, our judge for today's sheep and goat show is Jerry Gross. Jerry and his family own and operate GT Sheep Company. They raise registered sheep and club lambs. They have sold stock to breeders and exhibitors in 29 different states. Jerry has served as a director of the Continental Dorset Club and was on the UNL livestock judging team. We'd like to welcome Jerry to today's show.
in these Division II lambs, some nice differences to talk about, and I think a wether to me that finds its way to the top pretty easily. One that is pretty correct in his finish. I like that about him. Certainly not overdone. For me, in terms of finish, if we could just fill him out a little bit in his loin, and that comes with time and possibly hydration, but one that's correct over its rib. I think the advantage of this wether over the one we put in second is dimension of center leg. You look at the two and you can really see it from behind. The wether that we start the class with has some flare, and that one in second just kind of tapers and gets a little platformy in the center part of its leg and transitioning into its stifle. I'd like to change that about the second place one. For me, it's real easy, second over third, one that is more correct in his finish, hard to the touch, maybe a little bit plain in his front end, but compared to the Suffolk Influence wether that rounds out the class, this one is just too soft, too fat for me to go any higher today. And you can talk about some of the good in it. I mean, certainly this one has some dimension of muscle and shape and bone. We like that about them, but we just got to have these lambs correctly finished, and this one has seen better days a few weeks ago. 2 purples and a blue. Congratulations.
This will be a second and final call for Class 6 Division II Market Lambs. Second and final call. Class 6 Division II Market Lambs. Our top purple in Class 5 went to Olivia Burridge. Second purple went to Mason Dostal. Receiving a blue ribbon was Addison Burridge. The 2023 Dodge County 4-H Council elections will take place during fair. Please stop by the livestock office to vote for the 2024 Dodge County 4-H Council members. Voting is open to any Dodge County resident who has a vested interest in the 4-H program. Voting will close on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Also, a thank you to the extension staff and the FFA advisors in our county for training youth in YQCA. YQCA is an annual training program youth go through to maintain their knowledge of food safety, animal well-being, and character development. If you have won a Supreme Champion, make sure you pick up your medal signs to hang in your stalls during fair to show that your animal was a champion. You can get those from the superintendents of the shows. Also pick up purple and blue ribbon stickers for your stall cards from the superintendents as well. So once again, those medal signs that need to go in the stalls to denote the champions of today's show, and the purple and blue ribbon stickers for the stall cards can all be picked up here at the announcer stand from the superintendent at the conclusion of today's sheep and goat show. Currently in the arena is Class 6 Division II Market Lambs. These lambs weigh from 141 to 160 pounds. At the conclusion of Class 6, we will need to have Olivia Burridge and Mason Dostal back with their market lambs from Class 5 so that we can choose our champion, reserve champion, Division II market and lamb of today's show. At the conclusion of that, we will need Addison Burridge and Cortland Mosman back with their Division I champion and reserve champion market lambs so we can choose our Supreme and reserve Supreme champion market lambs for today's show. Exhibitors, do not forget on Sunday when you leave the fair that you put your wood chips out into the aisle to aid in cleanup for the fair board on Monday. Once again, make sure when you leave on Sunday that your wood chips get pushed out into the aisle so it makes an easier cleanup for the fair board next week. At the conclusion of the sheep show, there will be a 10-minute break before we start the goat show. Once again, there will be a 10-minute break between the sheep show and the goat show. The goat show will start with showmanship, then will be followed by breeding and then marketing. It's in a different order than what the program is. So the goat show will start with showmanship, then breeding, and then market.
In our heavyweight market lambs, 2 purples and 2 blues. Top pair for me was probably one of the closer placings I've had all day. Originally, I kind of walked in the ring, I thought, okay, the one that's in second, that we have placed in second is the one I'm going to use. And then you really get studying them, and there's some differences, and I think it's close, but I'm real comfortable where I ended up. I don't know that you get into these heavier weights. I don't know if any of these are quite as lean as I want them, and you know, that varies a little bit by judge. And I think what's happened a little bit is we've got as an industry, is we've got these sheep a little stouter, and the way we feed them, they can have more fat on them and handle okay. If you've been around and evaluated some carcasses and you understand how we calculate yield grade and things like that, you get a little more tuned in that these fat lambs just get killed. They need to be correctly finished, but we don't need 4 or 5 tenths on them. I don't know that these two are pushing that, but they're sure 35 in my opinion. Lamb we started with, I think, is slightly leaner. I think he's better in his front end, particularly as you look at him through that chest floor. He's a little bit more elevated, and I like that about him. I think the distinguishing difference for me between the two is pin width. When we get behind him, I think we've got just a little bit more true shape versus fat in this one. A little bit longer-sided lamb. I don't know that that's a factor, just in observation. But one that I think just handles a little bit better. This one in second is really bold about his rib and wider certainly in his loin than the lamb we started with, and I like that about this one. One that is probably a little fatter than what a person would think, and you really see that as evidence of dropping in its floor. But two real good ones just maybe would have been better with a little more exercise or 5-10 pounds ago. I'll call it the chocolate-faced wether in third is one that really isn't quite as soft as you would think he is as you get to hold him. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit that way, but he's actually all right. A pretty complete lamb, but just naturally falls there for me. He drops in his flank more compared to the one on the bottom. He's shorter in his blade, and I like that about him, but just doesn't have the expression of muscle as the two above him. And the wether that we round the class out with, one that I think has some structure problems, certainly compared to those in the rest of the class. This one gets really long in his blade, drops that chest floor down dramatically, and we don't like that about him. And we just like to give this one more true show ring appearance, more overall muscle to go any higher today. Congratulations.
Top purple went to Addison Burish. Second purple also went to Addison Burish. Receiving blue ribbons were Olivia Burish and Olivia Burish. We'll now be choosing our Champion Division 2 and Reserve Champion Division 2 market lambs. With these awards will come a $50 and $25 premium. We will need from Class 5, Olivia Burish and Mason Dostal. From Class 6, we will need Addison Burish and Addison Burish. At the conclusion of that, we will have our championship drive to pick our Supreme and Reserve Supreme champion market lambs of today's show. For that, we will need Addison Burish with her champion Division I market lamb and Cortland Mosman with his reserve champion Division I market lamb. With the Supreme and Reserve Supreme champion market lamb honors, those exhibitors will be receiving a $200 and $100 premium prize. At the conclusion of today's sheep show, we will have a 10-minute break and then we will start the goat show. The goat show order will be showmanship, dairy, breeding, market. So the breeding is going to show ahead of the market class. It's flipped in the program. If you need a goat show program, they are available up here at the announcer's stand. Currently in the arena, we are choosing our Division II Market Lamb Champion and Reserve Champion. For that, we have Olivia Burish and Mason Dostal from Class 5, and Addison Burish and Addison Burish from Class 6. Also, if you're in need of a snack, right here behind the grandstands on the south end of our arena, we have the Hearts and Hooves 4-H Club with a concession stand. So if you need a drink or a snack, go and check out their concession stand. Our champion Division II Market Lamb and receiving a $50 premium is Addison Burish. Our reserve champion Division II Market Lamb and receiving a $25 premium is Olivia Burish. We'll now be choosing our Supreme and Reserve Supreme Champion Market Lambs of today's show. With these championships, the Supreme Champion Market Lamb will receive a $200 premium, and the Reserve Supreme Champion Market Lamb will receive a $100 premium. Also, don't forget, at the conclusion of the show, you may pick up those metal stall cards to hang in your stalls for the duration of the fair to denote what championships your exhibit won. You also may pick up purple, blue stickers here to put on your stall cards so visitors to our fair know how your project did in the show arena. Our champion Division I market lamb was shown by Addison Barish, and our reserve champion Division I market lamb was shown by Cortland Mosman. They are back in the arena competing for our Supreme and Reserve Supreme champion market lamb of today's show. A correction on that champion Division II market lamb. It was shown by Olivia Barish, and our reserve champion Division II market lamb was shown by Addison Barish. Let's give a round of applause to today's judge, Jerry Gross. Let's also give a round of applause to our superintendent, Aaron Hemme, and his FFA chapter from Logan View, as well as Paige Bunn, and Kobe and Danielle Amon as well for helping out today. We appreciate all the help we have here for today's show. So thank you to them. We'd also like to thank Kristen Jolachek, who is a former Dodge County 4-H member, and she is now currently the FFA advisor for the Lyons, Kansas FFA chapter.
It's been a pleasure to be here today in the Dodge County Sheep Show and evaluate young people as well as the lambs that are exhibiting. Four pretty nice sheep to evaluate and look, and certainly there's some differences, and we've talked about them in class and division. Lambs we have out here are correctly finished, they're balanced, and to me, I think an easy one to start with, and then I think reserve gets a little bit tighter. I'm going to go ahead and use your two heavyweights for champion and reserve. I think just two of the most complete lambs and market ready and ready to go today. Congratulations.
Our Supreme Champion Market Lamb receiving a $200 award is Olivia Burish. Our Reserve Supreme Champion Market Lamb and receiving a $100 award is Addison Burrish. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out to the 2023 Dodge County Sheep Show. We look forward to seeing you all back here again next year, and bring your friends so our sheep show grows. We're going to take a 10-minute break before the start of the goat show. We do have goat show programs over here next to the announcer stand if you still need one. The order of that show is going to be showmanship, dairy, market, or breeding, and then market. The market and breeding are switched in the program. So we'll do breeding before the market shows. Once again, the Hearts and Hooves 4-H Club is sponsoring a concession stand here at the south end of our show arena. They want you to know that all the money they earn today, they're donating back to the fair for fair improvements. So this is a fundraiser that their club is doing to donate back to the fair for some fair improvements. So once again, make sure if you need a little snack or something to drink, you check out the Hearts and Hooves here at the south end of the show arena. All the money they raise today is going to be donated back to the fair for fair improvements. So we'd like to thank them for doing that for the fair.